Bata. 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 Bakit di ka natutulog sa tamang oras? Hindi ka kumakain ng maayos. Puro chichirya yung kinakain mo. Gusto mo bang ikaw na lang ang kainin ko? Kapag di ka pa natulog, bata, lalabas ako sa cellphone. Kukunin kita. Kaya matulog ka na, bata. Bago mahuli ang lahat. Tulog na. Bata. Nandyan ako. Sa likod mo. Ipikit mo na ang mga mata mo. Bata. Matulog ka na.
I should know her name.
Who is she?
What's your name?
She's looking at you.
I know. I can't remember her name. What's her name?
It's Betty in front of you.
Who are you talking to?
This lady here.
Betty.
I'm Betty.
Well, she's Betty too.
Oh, are you? Me too? Okay. All right. We got that settled. Now I'm gonna get a good night's sleep.
There you go.
Thank you.
All of these are fake.
Millionaire Golf 2006. This is what a nasty case of sleep paralysis can do to you. This woman's husband noticed that she would do weird things in the middle of the night, especially around 3 a.m., aka the witching hour. So he set up cameras, and this is what he caught. If that was me, I'm taking the baby and I'm leaving. I'm sorry. Either she's possessed or she's trying to get the sleep paralysis demon off of her chest. To be determined.
A guy opens up a portal inside of his bedroom using a frequency. So here's the original video that went viral in 2018.
There you go.
A portal to Sedona. This is a really interesting video. I did some research about it, and a lot of people said that it was debunked and that it was fake. But how many other things do people say are fake as well?
You don't know where that is. I do. It's in Sedona.
What do you guys think? Comment below. Is it possible, or is it just a fake?
A famous TikTok star named Valeria posted a terrifying TikTok that went completely viral, in which a mysterious creature, most likely a mimic, is talking to her, trying to bait her out of her room while she is home alone.
I swear there's someone outside my room. Wait.
What happened next truly shocked her whole fan base. Later on, she explained that it has never happened before, and she was absolutely terrified. Keep watching.
What do I do?
So this guy is a photographer, and this happened to him around a time where he didn't have a lot of work, so he had a lot of downtime and he was home and bored. He lives with his mom and sister, and they weren't home at the time, so he decided to go outside. He went to the side of the yard where there were 2 trees and a hammock in between them, and also because he could see the rabbits that they had as pets there. But as he's rocking back and forth on the hammock, he's starting to hear ruffling from above and leaves start falling on him. He said that he looked up there and nothing's there, no one's there, there's no animals, and then he started to hear like something running around him. But he was like, whatever, it's just the rabbits that are running around. He says that he decided to get up and look at the rabbits and wanted to know why they were running around like that. But when he looked at them, they weren't running around. They were actually looking very scared and almost going to like a corner. He also mentioned that there was no predators there, like that's why they felt so safe having those rabbits out in the backyard, because there's nothing that would harm them there. However, he thought to himself, what if there is something here and I'm just not seeing it because it's hiding, and he didn't want whatever it was to harm the rabbits. So he had a bright idea. He had 2 iPhones and he decided that he was gonna leave them out there, and he downloaded applications on his phone where if he was inside, he can monitor the rabbits, and if something was harming them, he was gonna get to the bottom of it. So the phone that he had inside with him was his mom's phone, and he had been monitoring the rabbits, and he ended up falling asleep. sleep. When he wakes up, again, he picks up that phone to make sure nothing had happened to the rabbits, but he noticed that there was only one phone. So he immediately goes outside, and indeed, there was only one phone. That other phone was no longer there. And again, he lives with his mom and his sister. Those are the only two other people living in that house. So he thought to himself, oh, it had to have been my sister. So he was like, oh, whatever, when I see her, she'll give it back to me. And later on that day, he sees his sister and he's like, hey, can you return my phone, please? And his sister was like, what are you talking about? I don't have your phone. She was like, I actually just got home, so no, I don't have your phone. And he's like, please stop playing around. I'm asking nicely. Just give me my phone back. So she insists that she did not take his phone. So he's like, okay, well, maybe my mom took it, but I doubt it. So he goes to his mom and his mom's like, no, I didn't take your phone. So by this point, it had been a few days that he didn't have his phone. However, there was something very weird. He had the Find My Phone feature on both of the iPhones that he had put outside. And when he went to go look, because obviously it's going to tell him where it's at, the app was telling him that his iPhone was right where he left it, outside. At that moment, he was like, oh my god, my sister buried my phone there. At this point, he's pissed off, but he goes outside, starts trying to dig his phone out, and there is nothing there. And now he's like looking up because he's like, is it somewhere hanging? Where is this phone? Because the app is still telling him that it's right there. At this point, he's annoyed, but he's like, whatever, she's gonna have to give me that phone at one point or another. So 2 days pass and it starts raining. And now he is like angry because the thing says it's out there. He doesn't know if it's buried or where it's at. So he goes to his mom and sister and he's like, look, I really need that phone. You guys, if this is a joke, it has gone way too far. It's raining. If my phone is out there buried, I'm gonna have to buy a new one. I don't want to have to do that. Please just give me the phone back. Both his mom and sister are insistent that they never took his phone, that they would have given it to him. They never took anything, and they're trying to convince him because they didn't take it. So at that point, the mom tells him, look, I know you don't believe in this. Take some candy, go outside where you left the phone and say this. I don't want to play anymore. Give me back my stuff. And he was like, oh my god, mom, please, I am not gonna do that dumb thing. Please stop playing with me. I know one of you guys have my phone, so give it back. I'm not gonna go do that. So he was like, long story short, weeks have passed at this point, and I couldn't get my phone, and I was not about to go do what my mom told me to go do because I don't believe in that. Periodically, he would go back on the app to see if the phone was still marked outside, and again, the phone was telling him that it was still out there. So on a Sunday, he wakes up very early and he looks around. Nobody is home. He checks the app. It still says that it's out there. So he decides that he's finally gonna do what his mom told him to do. However, he said that he was gonna keep it secret because he didn't want them to know that he was gonna try to do it. So he says that he saw some candy that had been left over from the parties in December. He grabbed the candies. He went to the spot. He felt like a dumbass, but he threw the candy in the spot and said, I don't want to play anymore. Please return my stuff. He went back in and said that after a while he just forgot about it. That day he went to get groceries. He did have a job, so he went to take some photos. So when he gets back home, he sits on his bed and he picks up his phone and he checks to see if that phone was still out there. However, this time the phone was showing exactly where he was and not outside anymore. He gets up, puts his hand in between the pillows, and he finds his phone. He was like, I was in shock because nobody saw me do this. My mom, neither of them knew that I had done this. I'm gonna have to keep this in case I lose anything. But what do you guys think? I freaking love Duende stories, but he was so hard-headed. He could have had his phone months ago.
Happy October, bitches! It's officially the best month of the year, so here's 31 horror movies that you can watch this spooky season, and where to find them. And these are kind of broken down into categories. The first category being haunted houses gone wrong. So these first few all have similar vibes in that a group of friends goes to a haunted house expecting something, but they get something completely different. So first we have The Houses October Built. There are 2 of these. Both are available on Philo. You can get a free trial. That's what I did. Then we have Haunt, which you can watch for free on Tubi. This one is a must-watch for me every year. I actually watch this one other than October. I just love this movie. Hellfest has very similar vibes to these, but still manages to be different. This one is on Netflix. And then obviously we have one of my favorite horror movies of all time, Hell House LLC. So this first one is on Tubi. There are 4 of these, but the first one honestly is hard to beat. All of those and other movies that I'm putting in different categories on this list can also fit into this category, which is going to be groups of friends on Halloween. So these movies follow like a group of teenagers, a group of friends, and obviously everything goes wrong. So of course we have our classic Halloween. There's literally 300 of these. That's obviously an exaggeration, but there are 11 and 13 if you count Rob Zombies, which I highly recommend as well, or at least the first one. The original 1978 Halloween you can find for free on Plex. I'm not finding the other 12 for you. You got to do that yourself. Also in this category, Dark Harvest, an underrated fucking banger. I watched this movie last year for the first time. I don't even think I watched it during Halloween, but I can't believe more people don't talk about this movie when we talk about Halloween movies. Criminally underrated. It's about this group of teenagers in this town that has this like supernatural legend. It's just really different and really cool, and you can watch this one on Amazon. Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. I fucking love this one. This one has such a fall, spooky vibe, and it's really nostalgic, especially if you read these books as a kid, and this one is on Netflix right now. The Jester. This one has really bad ratings and a lot of people hate on it. I personally did not think it was terrible. And again, I think it's a very good spooky vibe fall Halloween movie. This one is about this like malevolent entity called the Jester that terrorizes this group of friends, specifically these 2 sisters on Halloween. And this one is currently on Shudder. Also on Shudder, another one that I think is just criminally underrated, Kids vs. Aliens. If you remember the VHS segment, I think it's from VHS 2 about the alien abduction. This is inspired by that. This is like the long version of that short. And this one is about these kids. Their parents go away for Halloween weekend, so they decide to throw a party, and it just turns into utter fucking chaos when these aliens decide to invade. Night of the Demons is a classic 80s horror movie. Like, this is another one that I feel like you can watch year-round, but it especially hits during Halloween season, and this one is on Tubi right now. And rounding out this category is Cry Wolf, a 2000s core underrated banger. This one is a really fun and campy whodunit type movie. That part of it takes place on Halloween, and you can rent it right now on Amazon. My next category only has a couple movies in it, but both are fucking bangers, and it's live broadcasts. Ghostwatch is a movie that it's a shame that more people don't know about it. I didn't even know about it until recently, and I only found out about it because it popped up on Shudder one day, which is where you can still watch it. And this one is about this group of broadcasters who decide to do this Halloween special investigating a haunted house, and it just spirals out of control. And you can tell that that movie definitely inspired Late Night with the Devil, also on Shudder. This one is a more recent movie. Obviously, it came out earlier this year, but same kind of idea as Ghostwatch in that they're trying to improve their ratings with this Halloween special, and it just turns into utter fucking chaos. Of course, I have to have a category for anthologies on here. The best anthology out there, and honestly, I would argue the movie with the greatest Halloween vibes, is Trick or Treat. This movie's a classic. It's a must-watch for me every year, and again, this is another one that I watch throughout the year because I just love it that much, and you can watch it on HBO Max. Tales of Halloween is not nearly as good as Trick or Treat, but it still just has that Halloween vibe to it that I absolutely love. It's super fun, super campy, and this one's on Tubi right now. VHS from 2012. So not all of the shorts in this anthology are Halloween themed, but the last one is, and it's fucking great. And you can watch this one right now on Tubi. All Hallows Eve. Obviously, I have to include this in here because I'm a fucking sucker for Art the Clown. I love him. And every single segment in this anthology features him in a different way, and I think it's fucking brilliant, and you can watch this one on Tubi right now. That leads me into my next category, which is more violent and gory Halloween movies, which I understand this category might not be for everybody, but it's for me. Obviously, all of the Terrifier movies, so the first one and I believe the second one are on Tubi right now. The third one comes out on October 11th. I saw the world premiere of it at Fantastic Fest, and you guys are in for a fucking treat. I actually can't wait for its release date because I am going again opening night. I don't care that I've already seen it. I cannot wait to see it again. Also in this category, House of a Thousand Corpses. Anything Rob Zombie really is going to be in this category, so that goes for his version of Halloween as well. House of a Thousand Corpses takes place on Halloween night. You can watch this one on Tubi. And another Rob Zombie movie, which is a personal favorite, also takes place on Halloween, and it's 31. This one is about this group that is traveling cross country, and they get kidnapped and thrown into this sick, twisted game that's called 31, where they have to, fight to survive. Very bloody, very gory. I get that it's not for everybody, but you can watch it for free on Tubi. My next category is movies that I honestly do not find very good, but they still give great Halloween vibes. So again, take these recommendations with a grain of salt because they're not great. Bad Candy, this movie also falls into the anthology category, and all of the shorts are narrated by this radio DJ that lives in Salem. And all of the segments are like local myths that exist in the town. It's fun, it's entertaining, just don't expect anything great. Creeping Death. This is a movie that just came out this year and it's a Screambox exclusive. That's where you can watch it. I don't know if I mentioned the last one's on Tubi. This one had a lot of potential, honestly, but it didn't personally hit for me. However, it has a great spooky Halloween fall vibe. The Scare House. So you can tell that this one is obviously super low budget. This one is about these two girls who are getting revenge on this other group of girls on Halloween night. Again, just super low budget, but still really fun, and I actually really like the ending of this one. It kind of redeemed the whole thing for me, and this one's on Tubi. Trick. This is another one I don't really think is great, but it still has a really good Halloween vibe, and it's entertaining enough where I would watch it again. So this one is about this like Halloween massacre that took place, and the guy who did it was caught by police but escaped. And everybody assumed him to be dead, but then a year later to the day, a masked killer comes and terrorizes everybody. Again, it's entertaining enough and it has that Halloween vibe to it, and you can rent this one on Amazon. My final category is movies that don't take place on Halloween or really don't have anything to do with Halloween, but still have that like spooky Halloween vibe to it. I feel like werewolf movies all kind of have that vibe, so Ginger Snaps, which you can watch on Tubi. Okay, I just had to look it up because Ginger Snaps does take place on Halloween. There's a Halloween party. I knew it had the vibes. I'm not crazy. But I don't have another category to put it in, so it's staying here. And Silver Bullet, which is probably my favorite werewolf movie, and this one is on Philo, that one where you can get the free trial. Sleepy Hollow, simply because the town that this takes place in during the fall, I want to live there forever. Like, I want to live in that type of, like, gloomy Halloween fall energy all the time. You can watch this one on Amazon. Hatchet. So this one takes place on Mardi Gras in New Orleans, so it's not Halloween at all. But again, just the way people are dressed up and, like, the lore behind it kind of gives me Halloween vibes. This one also falls into the category of the more, like, bloody, gory, violent movies, and you can watch this one on Tubi. Tarot. This is another one that came out this year, and again, this does not take place on Halloween, but the creature design and all of the different creatures in this movie give me Halloween vibes. A lot of people hated on this movie. I personally enjoyed it, and it's on Netflix right now. And finally, I have Cobweb. I honestly don't remember if this one takes place on Halloween. It might, because I remember pumpkin patches, but honestly, I didn't have another category to put it in. If the ending of this movie was stronger, this movie would have been a fucking 10 out of 10. But regardless, it still has its creepy moments and that like spooky Halloween vibe. And this one is currently streaming on Hulu.
If you see someone with a face like this, run as fast as you can and don't look back.
Oh shit.
Huh? Hey, help me. What? What's wrong with you?
But before showing you the end of this video, I advise you to check if your phone is not being spied on by clicking here then on more. If you see this app, delete it immediately. So, John was driving home late at night when suddenly a woman with a distorted and barely recognizable face appeared in the middle of the road. Forcing him to stop, she claimed that something had taken her son. Fam, her terror was real. Her voice trembled with every word. John was shocked, paralyzed by uncertainty about how to respond.
Oh shit.
Observing her strange deformed features, he realized she was more than just a desperate mother, but something much more sinister. Unbeknownst to him, this woman was the host of a sinister entity. John was truly frightened. Now watch what happens next in this video. Remember to follow us and save this video if you want to be protected.